Hello and welcome to Discovering Grayslake, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wool, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders, right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents, and recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. Wait. Grayslake has a record store? Are you ready to get into the groove? Well, I've got the perfect place for you with new and used vinyl, CDs, tapes, and more. At Andy's Records, they're not just about the hits. They're about the classics, the B-sides, the hidden gems, the vinyl vibes that make your heart skip a beat. For the record, Andy's is not your average music shop. It's a place where melodies meet memories. Andy's Records, because life sounds better with a little spin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I am at the beautiful Agora Co-working on the corner of Center Street and Atkinson. That's where I'm at. And thanks, Luke, for having us here. Agora is a gracious sponsor to let me record from here, so thank you again, buddy. I am here today with Becka Nieder. Becca's Bootcamp, is that what you call it?
Yes.
But I know you do a lot of other stuff.
Just a few.
Okay, so first of all, I think if there's one thing I know about you, is that you seem to know everybody.
I know a lot of people.
You know a lot of people in Grayslake because you're involved in a lot of different things.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with Becca's Bootcamp. Tell me about that.
So I started Becca's Bootcamp 12 years ago.
Wow.
13 years ago, something like that. And I'm a personal trainer, and I was just looking to get out of the gym, big box gym setting. And I decided that I wanted to go small group fitness route. It was more fun, better accountability.
I think boot camp has no fun involved in it for me, honestly.
It's really the alliteration though.
Okay, so but you
Becca's group fitness doesn't sound as fun.
No, it doesn't sound badass at all.
Becca's boot camp.
Okay, so how many students, or you call them students? How many people were you working out with?
So I recently kind of pivoted everything, but there were about 30 of us.
Wow.
A couple of months ago.
Nice. So is that running now?
It is not running now. I am actually doing some boot camp fitness classes at CAD Fitness in Grayslake in the mornings, and then I'm back to doing one-on-one personal training over there too.
Nice. I don't think that I could ever do a boot camp, A, because of your name, and B, because you do it really early in the morning, right?
You can do anything that you want to do.
Okay, thank you.
And there's always a way to scale things. But yes, it is early in the morning. Okay,
so it sounds like are the people that you've had over those years, were they mostly the same people, or do you have people jumping in, jumping out?
Really, COVID. I'm
trying to do an episode without saying COVID, by the way.
The same people for a very long time, and then COVID happened, and I had a lot of changeover during. So I have people that have worked out with me for 9 years, and then there's a strong group of people that have been with me like the post-COVID era. So it's only been a couple years, but.
Gotcha. So you do one-on-one training as well?
Yes.
Okay. And that is all scheduled through you on whatever your schedule actually looks like? Because I know you do a couple other things that probably get in the way of your scheduling of those things. Let's talk about other jobs really quick, and then we'll swing back around. I think you know a ton of people, because I think a lot of people may know you because you work at the Vine.
I do. I do work at the Vine.
Yes. What a fun job, and what seems like a great community to work with.
It has, so I've been there almost 3 years, I think. It's always been a lot of fun. The patio has been a whole new level of fun.
I bet. So just the patio opening this summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys were decorating for, what did you call it, the pop-up that you guys did?
Yes, the pop-up Christmas.
Yeah. Tell me how that comes together. I know that, did you have firsthand in putting up how many lights?
Yeah, thousands, tens of thousands. There were lots of lights. It was a lot of fun. Mike and Amy Pruitt were talking about celebrating Thanksgiving over the weekend, like after Thanksgiving, and going in on Thursday and decorating. And I was like, well, I think you guys are going to need more help than just your kids. And I had talked to a couple other coworkers who didn't have plans or only had plans for part of the day. And so Mike decided to bring it to the staff that we could all just pop in. And he even had some friends come in, and we just hung out all day and had Christmas movies and music playing and decorated.
Okay, so how is it working for Pruitt? Because Mike always has something up his sleeve. It doesn't seem like there's one day that's normal hanging out with him.
Yep. He has lots of ideas and things, and it ends up being a lot of fun. He's about to start having musicians, not just pianos too, coming in and playing. He's doing music market starting.
Yeah, I just saw something about that.
Starting in December, so I am excited to see how all that takes shape. But they did the Hope Tree, and then the one year it all went back to the employees, and so
that's cool.
He does lots of give back to the community, but then he also takes care of his work family.
Yeah, there's probably not a better guy to work for.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no, and fun. And it seems like the group of people you've had have been there for a long time too, that you're coworkers.
Yeah, and until the patio opened, Jarrett and I were the newbies, and we are coming up on 3 years.
Wow, it says a lot about the Vine.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So make sure to stop into the Vine, everybody, and check out the patio with the. How long are the Christmas stuff going to be up there?
Through January.
Okay.
At least into January.
Cool. It's a festive place to have martinis outside or dinner or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got Becca's Bootcamp. We got the Vine. Also, you are. Is it correct that you're the president of the library?
Library Foundation.
All right. Let's talk about the Library Foundation.
So the library has 2 different nonprofits. And the first one that a lot of people know about is the Friends of the Library, and they put on the book sales and the summer and winter reading programs and the concerts. But then as the foundation, we do things to raise money for capital improvements. Prior to me coming on, that was always the indoor mini golf.
Yeah, I actually had to DJ a couple of the mini golf things when those things started. How fun was that? But it was prior to you.
It was prior to me. And that's one of I do a lot of things. It's not something I'd ever gone to.
Oh my gosh. So how come the mini golf thing isn't happening anymore?
As I came on to the foundation,
You canceled it.
I know. It had already not been happening. And we were starting to make a pivot and change to what we were going to be doing. So now we do a fundraiser in March called Pouring Over Pages. And then September, October, I don't know that we've totally nailed down that it will always be October. We just started doing an escape room in the library.
How fun.
But we had 3 rooms set up, so 3 different levels of degrees of difficulty.
Wow, so who comes to these things?
Anyone who wants.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to help support the library.
Got you. Okay, what's Pouring Over Pages?
So in March, the library works with all the art teachers in the town from all the schools, and the art teachers select artwork to be displayed throughout the month of March. And each school gets a night at the library. So for Grayslake Public Schools, each of the K4 buildings, the 5, 6, each of the high schools, and then they also include Westlake Christian Academy and St. Gilbert's.
Nice.
And a couple years ago, they started including artwork from the Grayslake Arts Alliance. So their artwork is up. So their pouring is another play on words there, because we have wine.
Oh.
So you get to pour over the pages, but you're also pouring wine.
Suddenly, I think a lot of people are more interested in pouring over the pages.
There you go. So last year we had book readings done, and we chose 5 different Grayslake authors.
I'm going to stop you right there, because I never realized how many authors that we have, because on the show we've had Michelle Cox.
Yes.
And we've had Z.
Yes.
So what other local artists or local authors are involved in that too?
So we actually had both of those two. And then we had Emily Bleeker, Carrie Pohar, and another woman, Stephanie. She writes under a pen name.
Okay.
I can't remember her pen name right now. But we were fortunate enough that 4 of the 5 of them were able to come in and do the readings themselves.
So they're reading their own material?
Yes.
How cool is that?
It was so fun. So we had that, and then we had a little craft station set up, and then the Grayslake Arts Alliance members came and sold artwork. So the artwork that they had displayed for the month was not able to be picked up that day because it was part of the library's display. But then they had some other items that you could take with you. So. And
who is that art made by? Is that the children's art?
No, the members of the Arts Alliance, so like the adult members.
Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't understand that. But what a cool event that is.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people. Wow. Who would know that we have so many writers in this town?
There's like a whole group of them that meets.
Wow. That's awesome. And thank you I think you're the one that recommended Z to me to be on the show.
Yes.
Yes. Since you do know everyone in Grayslake. Right. Okay, so how long did you say you've been involved in the library? And how did you get to be the president? Is that like a big job?
No, it was a sneaky job. So Z asked me to be on the foundation with her for probably a year before I finally told her yes. And when I came on, there was no vice president. So I agreed to be vice president. And 6 months into my term, the president moved to Indianapolis.
Okay, so then
I fell into it.
Yeah, you're really moving up the ranks fast over there.
Yeah.
So you still are involved in that?
Yes, and I mean, I chose to continue as president. I didn't just finish that term.
Awesome. So everybody make sure to check those out. So when is the next escape room? Is that the next big thing?
So the escape room is fall. So we just did escape room.
Okay.
So pouring over pages is next, and it's in March.
Okay. Does the Library Foundation have a Facebook page or something that people can follow?
We do.
Okay. We do. So go follow, and that's the Grayslake Library Foundation?
Yes.
Okay. Just trying to be specific here. So go follow the page to make sure that you know what's going on over there, because it sounds like there's really, really cool things happening there. Let's talk about the after researching you a little bit, it seems like you're minorly into dance.
Just minorly.
So tell me about your dance career.
I started dancing as a kid, and I danced through college. In college, I was an apprentice in a dance company. And then post-college, I would just take classes here and there. And after my youngest was born, a friend that I had met through like a mom's group told me that I really needed to come to this dance audition for a show. And I was like, I haven't danced. And she was like, just do it, just do it. They don't care. And so I went. I was really sick. And I was like, this is never going to go over well. And I got put in a couple of pieces. And
now, where were those shows at?
At the College of Lake County.
Oh.
They open their dance performances to the general public. So there's auditions in January for a April show that is then performed at the James Lumber Center. You usually perform on the big stage, and then they hold auditions again in August, and there's a December performance.
Now, is that like a dance group that you belong to?
So that was like, you can like choose to audition. Like I probably did like every 3 shows, and then I would have something going on, so I wouldn't audition for one. But one of the dance teachers also has a dance company, and she needed dancers one summer, and someone recommended to her that she reach out to me, and she knew me because I had been performing at the college. And so I started performing for her that summer, and then I auditioned for her like season. We do a show in November and then in May. And so I've been performing with her since 2018.
Wow. Well, what an honor to have her reach out to you like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're busy.
Just a little bit.
I was gonna say you have all of that. And what kind of dancing is it?
It is urban modern dance.
I have no idea what that means.
Perfect.
Is it like ballet?
No, it's not really.
Urban modern. So is your background in, like, did you grow up like doing ballet or different dance
I
classes?
did grow up doing a lot of ballet, but in college I took equal parts ballet and modern classes. College was my first like experience in modern, and the company I apprenticed in was a Afro jazz modern company as well. So
sure, and I have no idea what that means either. Thank you. But fun. So it's fun stuff. So it would be something enjoyable. Like, what are your audiences that come to see these things? Are they all different kind of age groups, or is it to a certain?
No, definitely different age groups. Yeah.
Okay. And how do people find out about these performances?
So I dance with L Theory Collective, and we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and we are the in-residence dance company for Three Brothers Theater in Waukegan. So we do various performances throughout the year, but we do 2 shows at Three Brothers, so it's always advertised on their
And you just
website.
Recently had one there, correct?
Yes.
How did that go?
Went really good. Really good.
Now, how many performances are included in that?
We did, so we did like a matinee. The dance company works with an all-girls Christian school. We teach their dance classes there.
Oh, fun.
And so we had a matinee performance where those students and teachers and some of their parents even got to come and watch us. And then it was a Friday night, Saturday night show.
Fun. And then when's the next one? You said you do 2?
Yeah, the 3rd weekend in May. So I think it's the weekend of like May 18th or 19th.
Wow, so we already have 2 action items for our listeners here. One is to follow the Grayslake Library Foundation, and the second one is to follow the it's L Collective?
L Theory.
L Theory.
Collective.
Thank you. So go follow those pages. So and that'd be fun things for people to bring their kids to, or just adults that enjoy to watch performances like that. Do you usually get a pretty good crowd at those?
Yeah, I think the theater seats like 50 or 60-ish. So it's a nice, intimate, close space.
Wow. So how do you know all these people from Grayslake? Because I know that beforehand we were laughing because I seriously think that Becka knows every single person.
I don't.
Yes, and she's helped me out a lot with some different guests to find out, because I may or may not go to the Vine every once in a while to have a martini. But you've given me some great people to have on the show.
Yeah.
Which is she's looking at condescendingly. Yeah.
I don't know. My kids are super active, and then I'm active and involved, and I've just met different people through all the things that I've done.
Yeah, and I know that you're you are into the community a lot, and you get to see a lot of different things from what your kids do, and obviously meeting a lot of people at the numerous places that you work. But we're going to talk about some things that your kids are involved in, because some of them are really cool. And one especially that I want to have on the show, so I want to talk about that. But before we do that, we're going to break really quick and do a thing, because our Grayslake Hot Seat, which is brought to us by our friends at Barbecue Productions. Chris Schoenberger, thank you very much, buddy, for everything you do for the community. So this is from Barbecue Productions. Are you ready, Becka?
Yeah.
She looks extremely excited right now, folks, if you could see the look on her face. All right, so number one, if you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Why?
Because I think it would be great to just go through life observing and not being seen.
Right. Sounds sneaky to me. Tell me a place that you'd like to travel that you've never been.
I'd love to go to Ireland, because the photos always look beautiful.
Nice. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Probably Full House.
Full House.
But I also watched a lot of The Wonder Years.
Nice. And we could tell people's ages by what they answer on here. Who's the funniest person that you know?
Probably Z.
Really?
Yeah.
She's funny, and she laughs a lot. She brings warmth to everywhere she's at.
Yes.
And folks, if you haven't listened to Z's podcast, I urge you to do that, because she has a wealth of information. What her and her husband do around here is just fantastic. They really help our community. What was your first car?
1984 Chrysler New Yorker.
Wow, you were riding in style.
It was the small, it was the little one, but after the boat, it was a little box.
Oh.
It wasn't the big boat ones.
All right. I would like to see you drive the big boat thing, though. That would be fun. Well, you do several. So if you wrote a book, what would it be about?
If I wrote a book?
Yeah.
Is now the time to tell you that I did self-publish a journal once upon a time?
Yes. See, that's why we ask these questions. So that's great.
I did a health and wellness journal. I really like journaling, so if I wrote a book, it would probably also be about journaling.
Really? But health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me about the self-published book, though. How do you get something self-published, and where is it?
It's probably on my website. Is probably where it is. It was a very interesting process, because you can print and publish anything on your own. That's kind of the thing about self-publishing. But when it comes to did you want to carry the inventory? Did you want people to buy it one-off? Those kinds of things were hard. But when you self-publish, I really did it for my clients.
Okay.
And so I would take basically a pre-order from them, and I put an order in. And then I have been known to donate to various raffles that different kids groups put on in the community. So I've always had extra, and I'll throw it in, get a free month of classes, and then there'll be, a little workout towel and a journal in there.
That's awesome. Okay. So, that question doesn't apply to you because you've already written something. If you had to take a job in a different field other than the 17 that you're in right now, besides dance and bartending and hostessing and
kids running clubs.
Yeah, exactly, which we're going to talk about as well. What kind of job would you like to do that you haven't done?
Oh, I don't know.
Or if you had to go back and choose a career.
Never do a desk job.
No?
I couldn't.
You're a mover and a shaker.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm asking you.
I don't even know.
You don't even know. Well, I need you to think about that.
Okay.
Yes. Not that you have to, because you have 12 jobs right now, so you don't need one. Would the 12-year-old version of you think that you're cool?
I always wanted to be a dancer when I grew up, so probably.
Yeah. I like people that can answer yes to that question. 12-year-old version of myself probably wouldn't have cared. Or probably had some really strong thoughts on that. Do you have a nickname?
Becka.
Okay. Any other nicknames? Because usually that's just a shortened name for...
No. Oh, the one. So when I was a kid, they used to call me Winnie.
Winnie. See, I knew that there was going to be one in there. Why did they call you Winnie?
Because I looked like Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years.
Hence one of your favorite shows at the same time. This is my favorite one, and a little deeper than my other shallow questions. If you had to learn, what do you wish you've learned sooner in life?
What do I wish I would have learned sooner?
Yeah.
To trust your gut.
Okay. If you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Well, let's go with a chameleon since I want the invisibility.
Wow. This says a lot about you. I'm just saying.
They look cool though.
They are cool. Very cool. I'm not arguing with you. It's your choice. You get the answer. What was the name of your first pet?
Daisy.
And what road did you grow up on?
Magnolia.
Daisy Magnolia. And that would be your, if you're in the adult film industry, that would be your name. So people please refer to Becka as Daisy Magnolia from here moving forward. There's certain people that I don't ask that question to. So I kind of had to leave that one out. I felt comfortable enough to ask that for you. Is double dipping at a party ever acceptable?
You gotta break it in half.
Oh, see, that's the trick. So you can, but you need to break it in half. But it's not double dipping really then. So
right.
So, all right. Have you ever ate a roller dog or any roller food from a gas station?
No.
She looks totally disgusted right now. By the way. So no, I think you should try it. I think you need to venture out. Quit being such a chameleon. What is your middle name?
Anne.
Anne. Okay. If you had to have a theme party at your house, what kind of theme party would you have? And it can't be a Wonder Years party.
No, but can we dress as our favorite book characters?
There you go.
But then you have to act in character all night of your book character.
Interesting.
That would be fun.
So you're saying to be invited there, I would have to learn how to read.
Audible counts.
Okay. I do listen to audiobooks. From 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Probably an 8. I'm a pretty good driver.
Okay. Did you play a sport in high school?
No.
No. Were you in any clubs or music or anything like that?
I was in dance and drumline.
Drumline?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Very cool. As I read these questions off, I guess in my mindset I have to realize there's something more than sports in life. As I wrote these questions down, from 1 being the least likely and 10 being the most likely, what do you think the chance that Bigfoot exists?
There's a lot of things that exist that we don't actually know about.
Cool. So you're saying from 1 to 10, then you'd say?
We'll go 9.
9. All right. Good answer. What is your favorite Grayslake event?
A lot.
Okay. Specifically.
I really like the summer days.
Summer days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you've listened to any of my podcasts, which episode has been your favorite?
We gotta go all the way back to the beginning and go with Pruitt.
Oh, she's sucking up. She's sucking up. There you go, Mike. Okay. Pruitt's is great.
It is.
And Pruitt still is the most popular one. He has the most listens. And I don't know because that was the first one, but you would think that we'd have the least amount on the first one because nobody knew about it. So, and if you haven't listened to Pruitt's, then go back and listen to it. It's a really cool episode.
Gotta keep him in first place.
All right. Yeah. Go help Mike. When you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the left or to the right?
Right.
Okay. And she did it. She moved her head. Is it because... Okay.
Oh, I eat with my left hand.
See? I've had the same answer. Okay. So to the right. Wow. Let me see. So if you brought a famous person, which I don't know why I have famous person on here, but if you had to bring somebody to Grayslake for the first time, where would you take them? Like initially as you drive into town, where would you take them first to say, check out our town?
So when my friends come and visit me, we often go to Closet Traders and The Vine.
Interesting. Why Closet Traders?
Because it's a fun little store.
Okay. I don't know that much about Closet Traders, so I think we need to investigate that a little more too. Okay, what was your favorite childhood book?
When I was a little kid, I really, really, really loved Go Dog Go.
Go Dog Go. Yes, they actually have a show on Go Dog Go now too, which I've seen every episode of. So Go Dog Go. And I know that apparently from the questions that I take it that you read a lot.
Just a little bit.
So you're an avid reader.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that you're the president of the library. Well, tell me your favorite book then.
Recently?
Yeah. Or what's the last book you've read?
So I'm reading Emily Bleeker's book right now.
What's the title of that?
Before We Were Enemies.
Okay. Something like that. You don't like it completely sure on that.
I don't look
so you like
sure.
it.
So I'm reading it on my Kindle app, so it's not like I look at the cover every time I pick it up.
Right. But it's good.
It's good.
All right. Go grab some Emily Bleeker books, by the way. Your favorite late night snack?
Strawberries.
That's the strangest late night snack I've ever heard.
I feel like when you want something sweet, they're just so good.
Okay, you seem healthy. You should run like
Not
a fitness
always.
program or something.
Not always.
Other than having ice cream, you say strawberries.
Well, I don't have ice cream in the house, so it's hard to be a snack.
It's a great way not to eat ice cream.
Right.
Right. Yes, just keep it out of your house. Okay, so since you're familiar with a lot of Grayslake businesses and you've been here, what business does Grayslake need that we don't have?
That we need?
In your humble opinion, is there something that you would like to see a business be in Grayslake that we don't have right now?
Something for the kids. And I don't know, we have a lot more little boutique-y shops than I think people even realize, but many of them don't sell a lot of kids things or something for the kids to do.
I like that answer. Yeah, we've had some other people mention too, some outside activities for the kids to do, whether it was a mini golf thing or some kind of outside activities for kids. So, thank you, Chris Schoenberger, from Barbecue Productions for hosting our Grayslake Hot Seat. You didn't do so bad.
That sounds but you didn't do so bad.
No. I think it's a good way to learn about people in our community. So now we're going to go back and tell me how you, because were you born and raised here, and how do you get to reside in Grayslake?
No, I was born in Chicago and raised in the south suburbs. And after college, I was living on the south side. And I had gone back to school to be a personal trainer. And I was, running away from things, looking for a fresh start. I applied for a bunch of jobs and got myself one in Grayslake at Fitness 19.
But you're applying for jobs on the south side of Chicago? From the south side of Chicago? And you applied for a job in Grayslake, Illinois?
Yeah. Everything I applied to was downtown Chicago and north. And Grayslake is where I ended up working.
Okay, is that the first job that you got called for?
Yeah.
So the first job you get called for.
Mm-hmm.
And you take it.
Well, I took the interview, and then at the interview they offered me a job. And so I never even followed up with the other places.
Nice.
Just took the job.
So you take the job. So do you commute for a while, or do you move to Grayslake?
No, I commuted, and then my manager who had hired me at the gym left and was working at an export in Logan Square in the city.
Yeah.
And I ended up following him. And so I was working in the city, but I started dating my kid's father. And so I was still coming up here often to see him.
So that's how you end up in Grayslake.
That's how I ended up in Grayslake.
And what year was that? What year did you move to Grayslake?
I moved here 15 years ago.
Wow. So you've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. So Grayslake is your kids' hometown.
Yes.
Where they've got to enjoy to grow up. So your kids have been through, and how old are your children?
23, 12, and 10.
Wow. So the 12 and 10s are currently at our schools,
Yes.
Frederick and middle school then.
Yep.
Very cool. And it's one of the things that our school system, the one thing we brag about a lot is that the Grayslake schools are awesome. Are they involved in a lot of things?
They're involved a lot in a couple of things.
All right. Now we're going to get a little more specific again. So tell me something that the youngest one's involved in.
Jack's the youngest, and he does football for the Grayslake Colts, and he wrestles with the youth wrestling program. And he sometimes rides a unicycle at Circus Kazoo.
Okay, and now we're where we're at that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Before we go to circus, and then your oldest one, not your. I'm sorry, the middle one. Yes.
So Grace, she did take dance at Dance Connection for a long time, and
another people we need to have on the show.
Bridget, yes.
Yes.
Back to me knowing lots of people. There are a lot of other people that I just met through other moms and dads through her dance performances and things, because she started there when she was 2.
She started at Dance Connection when she was 2?
Yeah. She was in the Totally Twos class, and when she was 3, they were Minnie Mouse in the dance recital.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so she danced there, and when she left, it was because their spring show, their big show, was the same weekend as Circus Kazoo's spring show. And it was really hard on 10-year-old Grace to perform in 2 different shows and to go from a dress rehearsal somewhere to a dress rehearsal somewhere else. And
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Those Dance Connection shows, the big one, that one's like a big deal.
Big, huge. She does a wonderful job.
Yeah,
wonderful.
They do. I had the distinct honor to do the voiceovers for those for, I don't know, Bridget knows better, 10 years, I think. And it was always fun to get calls that day to ask if I was there. Because my Lily did like a couple of years, but it was fun that, they do an awesome job putting it on. So, I encourage everybody to go see everybody at Dance Connection too, because they do wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. And I'm calling Bridget.
There you go.
Yeah, Bridget, if you're listening, I'm coming after you. Bridget was my neighbor for a long time when I had like a hoodlum house in Grayslake. She lived behind me. And I think her mom was my Mrs. Rep. Yeah, she was kindergarten teacher at St. Gilbert for a long time.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's talk about circus, because I know nothing about circus except for it sounds like what it is.
Yeah, so Grace, actually
it's right across the street from here, from Agora.
Yeah. Right across the street. When Grace was little, she wanted a circus-themed birthday party. And
she didn't ask to join the circus, Becca.
No, she was like probably only 4 years old too. And so Jay, who owns Circus Kazoo, was offering, she had her classes listed in the park district. And so I reached out to her and asked her if she would come to a party, and she typically didn't work with children as young as 4, and some of the kids that were going to be there were even younger, and she was like, but it's okay, I'll come, we'll do an obstacle course. And Grace absolutely loved it, and in January of 2020, December of 2019, for whatever reason, she was like, I want to take a circus class. And so she took a German wheel class, and she loved it. And we've been going to circus for 3 years now.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that's listening to you speak that I need to know what what do you call it?
The German wheel.
The German wheel. Sounds like a torture thing.
Grayslake has lots of parades.
Yep.
They do the Memorial Day parade. It looks like a giant hamster wheel, is what I always tell people. It's like 2 big hoops, rings, that are connected. There's a couple of footboards and a couple of handles for your hands. And they can like strap their feet in, but then they also have the ability to slide them out so that you can do like a split in there.
Sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what other things do they do at circus? I'm totally intrigued by it.
So Jack likes the unicycle class. He has taken balloon making and juggling classes. Grace has done a balance class where they do everything from stilt walking, wire walking, rollabola, globe. There's like all kinds of different. They have the little board that sits basically on like a PVC pipe, and it's like surfing on land kind of things.
That's awesome.
She does group acro, which I always say is like a mix between like, and not in like a bad way, but like a mix between like cheerleading, stunting, and partner yoga. They do everything from like human pyramids to they spin Grace around between 2 people like she's a jump rope. A lot of fun things. And then she did the German wheel, but then they have different aerial classes. There's silks and hammock, lyra, and trapeze.
Wow. Okay, what an interesting place.
Cloud swing.
Is that a chain company?
Nope. So there are 2 colleges that I know of in the United States that offer like circus in their like programming, and one's Florida State and the other one is Illinois State, and Illinois State has the Gamma Phi circus. And so Jay went to ISU and was involved in Gamma Phi, and several of her teachers have come from there or like been with her and then gone on to there. So it's a nice little, very welcoming community.
Wow. And probably nobody listening can imagine that she's on my list.
Yeah, she should be on your list.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I like Jay.
I'm not taking any classes over there, but
anybody can.
Right. And
especially the people who think that they can't.
I don't think that I do think that I can't. But yes,
you can always do what you think.
It sounds like a joke that somebody would say that they're taking a unicycle class. But it's awesome what your little guy does.
Yeah. And I actually took the classes in aerials. I was doing the lyra when we were unable to get space to practice for dance. We weren't doing any shows. Mm-hmm. I started taking the lyra class. So if I can do it, anybody can.
Wow. That's probably not true, but okay. We'll take your word for it. All right. So off of that, that's fantastic. Okay. So your kids do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else they do since we're on the subject? Because all this has to do with Grayslake community and classes you can take and things to be involved in.
They're both in band. Mm-hmm. So like Grace is in pit band for the musical coming up. But another Grayslake thing that we do is Cayman's Farm Sanctuary. Grace and I are volunteers.
I have no idea what that is.
Grace and Jack have both done, well, Grace is like aged out, but they go there for farm camp on days off of school.
Okay, tell me just a little bit more about that because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so Kate, her husband Brad, they have a farm out on Chardon Road.
Yep.
And it's a sanctuary. They have over 100 farm animals, from alpacas to goats and cows, chickens, pigs.
And they have a camp
donkey.
That you can do.
Yeah, so when there's no school, they run camps. So there'll be one over winter break coming up. And then they do it in the summer and like random day off of school, they'll offer it. And the kids go and they do some arts and craft things and play outside, but they also get to help with the farm chores. For Grace's birthday this year, we did goat yoga. And then
another thing that she's just making stuff up.
She has a she shed and she has a yurt.
A she shed?
And you can spend the night. So Grace and I spent the night in the she shed. And so we got to help do chores at night, and then you sleep in the shed, and you wake up in the morning and you get to help with farm chores in the morning before you go home.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can take my little guy there.
So because it's like a sanctuary, like you have to sign up for everything.
Right.
But yes, and they do like cuddles and cuddle with the goats and hot cocoa in February.
I'm sorry. It's great, but it's seriously like you made half of this stuff up, but what a really cool thing for kids to do.
Yeah, we go trick-or-treating there. Well, the last couple of years we've volunteered. This year we went and trick-or-treated, but for several years we volunteered and we were the people that handed out the treats.
How fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad I asked you what else your kids do. We went from like music to we went from band and then suddenly got off track and started talking about goat yoga. Yeah. So we talked about goat yoga and unicycles, and I don't think if I had to guess what we were going to talk about, that these things would be on there. I just thought you worked at Divine.
There you go.
but there's so many things to learn.
Just a couple more.
Wow. Okay. So then somewhere through here you mentioned something about the kids run or kids.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So there is a nonprofit called the Healthy Kids Running Series. And when my little two were younger, they had it out in McHenry at Peterson Park, and we would go out there on Sunday, like early afternoon. And it's a 5-week race series that runs in the spring, and then again another 5 weeks in the fall. And my kids really loved it. I didn't love the way it broke up the day and the drive out there. And so anyone can like start it in their own town. So I contacted Healthy Kids and I started one in Grayslake in the spring of 2019 was our first year.
Wow.
And I was the coordinator for a while, and then it got to be a lot of work. We had like over 200 kids that were running. So I brought in a co-coordinator, and then I was missing Jack's football games and Grace's circus competitions, and they were also not running because of the other activities they were in. So I kind of handed it off to my co-coordinator, and she is now finding her co-coordinator to run it with her.
Wow, so it is something that's going on though.
Yeah, it's still happening. I still go out and I get to be the person on the microphone starting the races and
fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've learned a lot so far, just so you know. That has not come up in other podcasts and 30 plus things. Okay, so what am I not asking you? What other things are you involved in, community-wise? Have we covered everything?
I think so.
You think so? And I think when we started this, you were concerned that we wouldn't have enough to talk about all the things you do until you really start thinking about what you do.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about living in Grayslake?
It like reminds me of the town I grew up in. Okay. Like my kids do just like often wander with friend Grace. One of Grace's favorite things to do on Thursdays, her and a couple of friends walk from school to downtown Grayslake, and they get lunch, and then they walk back to the library, and they have a teen group that's for like 7th through 12th graders with Nash runs it. And so she just goes and hangs out with Nash and everyone at the library. She likes to do that. So
nice. It is a nice thing where we can, every town's have their, in the year we live in, it seems like everything's dangerous, for kids, but it's nice that our downtown seems like it's a safe place where people can go around. We have enough community to look after everybody.
Yeah.
It's nice. And thinking about everything that you're involved in makes me, want to help promote everything that's going on in Grayslake, that people should get more involved and go out and enjoy everything that our town has to offer. I'm still blown away with the circus thing. I think you should take me over and introduce me to Jay at Circus.
I think you should. It's coming too late for when this airs, but their show is December 4th.
Interesting.
December 3rd, whatever that Sunday is.
How often do they do shows?
They do twice a year. So there's a show that first weekend in December, and then there's a spring show in May.
All right. So maybe we get her on here and we can promote her spring show for her.
There you go.
I think that would be kind of fun. All right. So if there's nothing else you want to cover, are we good?
I think we're good.
All right. So make sure to stop in. So if somebody wants to get fitness lessons from you for Becca's Bootcamp, which unless you change the name, I will be signing up for nothing. It sounds like torture to me. I like to work out, but anything with boot camp and that early in the morning, I'm out. How do people get in touch with you? You said something about a website, but also is it your Facebook? What's the best way to get in touch with you for that?
Yeah, I've got a website, or they can reach out to me on Facebook.
Okay.
Either one works.
And when you say you have a website, maybe we should let them know.
It's beckasbootcamp.com.
Very clever again.
There you
I like
go.
that. Just like my buddy Greg's guitar lessons. And
keep it simple.
Exactly. You got to have it exactly what it's supposed to be. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate you being on the show. And Grayslake, thank you for listening. So reach out to Becca with any of your fitness needs. And hopefully you guys have learned as much as I have out of this episode as she's laughing. So thank you so much for taking the time with me. And folks, if you're listening, I always need to remind you, whatever platform you're on, whether you're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on Google Podcasts, wherever you find this show, make sure that you subscribe. And here's another thing I'm going to add too. I would love if you would just give us a rating on the podcast, because it means a lot to me, and it helps us out too. So if you're on there, throw it 6 stars out of 5, whatever you have to do, but make sure to subscribe on any platform. So any new show that comes up, you are alerted right away, because you never know what kind of fun people you're going to meet in Grayslake. That's for sure. Okay. Thank you again, Grayslake, and we will see you next Tuesday.